Hello everybody, welcome. I'm so Yells, welcome. So basically, in this individual reading, this is going to be for a tarot card reading for Virgo. This is going to be for Virgo for September 20th to September 27th of 2025. So basically, in this reading for you, Virgo, I know that how things are. I know how this is going to be a very, the way how it is, and this is how it seems to be. I know how it goes, right? That's how it goes. But you know how it seems to be, right? Excuse me. But anyway, the point being is that in this wonderful reading, I just want to tell you all that this is going to be a very interesting reading about how it goes in that way. This is how it seems to be. So you have to understand of how it goes in that way. So, you know what, Virgo, this is what you need to do. And this is the way it seems to be. Alright, so this is how it goes. So the oracle card I'm going to read you is friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. You know, that's how it goes. And when you have friends, you know how to do. Because when you have friends, you know how it goes, right? So when you have friends, you're being with friends. You know, that's how it seems to be. And when you do it, it's like, okay, this is very interesting, or I know what to do. Yes. But there is very a stronghold of what's going on. You know, you have to have that. Friendship is the key. Friendship is about your ordinary and everything else. We understand that, right? This is how it goes. You're not trying to be an audit. You're not trying to do what you can. But you understand that. You have to focus about it. And when you focus on it, you know how it goes in that way, right? You have to believe it. In order to do that, that's the way it seems to be. In that way, you know that's how it goes. And when you use friendship, you know how it goes in that way. Alright? That's how it goes. So, you're going to figure out what's happening for you in this situation. I'm going to go from who's on the left side, who's on the right side, and let's see who's in the middle of this situation for you. So let's see what's going on for you, Virgo, and I hope that you all like this video. Please give a like, please leave a comment if you want, and this is the way it seems to be, in that way, and this is how it goes. So, here we go. So in this remarkable reading for you, Virgo, we have the King of Cups reversed. There's no support here. You're not having any support. I don't know why, but there are very how it goes. You're trying to have misguided. You don't know if you're going to misguide. But the way how this is, you need to have support. You know, if you don't have support, well, you're not having support. You know, that's the way it goes. And Virgo, you need to pay attention to it, right? So you have to understand what's going on in this situation. So I'm gonna go to see who's on the left side. We're gonna figure out who's on the right side. So Knight of Wands is upright, followed by the Ace of Cups is upright, followed by the 10 of Wands is upright. So basically, you have all these burdens. You have the prosperity of love, and you have immaturity, right? So Virgo, when you're acting like that, when you have immaturity, you're paying attention that you're being immature. You know, that's how it goes. Now, I'm not trying to be mean or rude to all of you who's a Virgo here. No. But the way of this is, you need to understand that. So, you might be dealing with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You might deal with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. You know, that's how it goes. You know, that's the same to be in this way of how it goes, right? Let's have with this World card. The 8 of Wands reversed, there's no speed. Page of Wands is over, there's prospects. And the 5 of Cups over, there's grief. Yes, because you have no speed. When you have no speed, you have no way about knowing what to do, and you think, well, this is going to be very happening. I don't know how I'm going to be it, but that's how it goes. You need to understand that. When things to be all that process, you have to understand that, right? So you have to do what you can in that way, because you have to understand that. So I'll do one card on the left side, one card on the right side. The Judgment is over, you're taking action on the left side, okay? On the right side, you have the Knight of Cups over, there's romance. Alright, so this is kind of interesting too, because you understand how it goes. So you might be dealing with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio on the right side here. On the left side, you're taking action. You know, that's how it goes. When you do it, you're bringing in, you're bringing out, whatever it is, and that's how it goes. You need to understand that, right? So let me clarify this Judgment card. The Strength card reverse, there's no bravery. Chariot is upright, you have progress. Okay. So when you have no strength, you have no bravery. You know, that's how it goes. What's up with this card, please? The Justice reverse, you're not telling the truth, right? Because you're lying about something. Don't know why, but you need to understand that, right? If you don't have friendship, you don't know how it is, you know, things are not going as planned, you know? That's how it goes. You're trying to say, well, with me, I can't do this anymore, or, you know, I'm telling lies, whatever it is. You're making, you know, something out of molehill, or something like that, right? That's how it goes. And it's like things are trying to build out. That's how it goes, in that way. What's this Knight of Cups about? The Taurus here, there's no healing. The Tower reverse, there's no transformation. And here in the separate, you have guidance. Exactly, that's how it goes, because you're thinking, alright, this seems to be happening. Alright, this is like crystal clear. Now let's see what's happening with this Justice card. The Tower reverse, there's no transformation. The Sun card is upright, there's positivity. Exactly, you're being positive. Because you're trying to be positive because you don't want to make lies. You're not trying to, trying to impress somebody. You're trying to have attentions. You're trying to have the bring in or the bring out of tensions, whatever it is. But that's how it goes. You're trying to reoccur what you're doing in that way. You're trying to have a step back instead of a step forward in the way how you go, because that's the same way in that way. Let's just hear from about. The Taurus is separate, there's healing. The Emperor reverse, there's no structure. Flow reverse, there's no change. The Magician reverse, there's no skill. The High Priest reverse, there's no voice. Judgment is already you're taking action. Yes, so there are things that you must learn first in order to do that, and you think, okay, this is going to be very interesting. Alright, this is how it is. I need to have my own momentum, that's how it goes. And you have to believe it. That's the way it seems to be, right? So let me clarify the Sun card. The Devil is upright, there's obsessions. The Wheel of Fortune reverse, you're having bad luck. The Tower reverse, there's no transformation. Emperor's reverse, there's no nourishment. Strength is upright, there's bravery. Yes, exactly. So you might be dealing with another Leo as a fire sign. The Devil is upright, it represents Capricorn, but it does represent where you're having obsessions, you're having addictions, you're basically, having a violence, whatever it is, because you're not having your own way. You're not, playing with your own mind games, whatever it is, because that's how it goes, right? So you need to understand about you're trying to be authentic, you're trying to believe, you're trying to make who you are, and that's the way it goes. You're trying to understand that, well, everything seems to be fine, alright, that's how it goes. Yes, but you have to believe, and you have to do what you can to, emphasize of how you're doing in that way, and you're saying, alright, this is how it goes, alright, but this is how it goes, right? So you understand what it's saying in that way, and you know how it is. You're going with the flow, and when you go with the flow, you know how it goes in that way. It's like, alright, this seems to be happening, alright, this is how it goes, alright, but this is how it seems to be in that way, right? So, you know what, Virgo, you pay attention to what you're doing in that way. What's this judgment about? The Hand is upright, there's restrictions. The Star reverse, there's an inspiration. The Hermit reverse, you have already a soulmate, right? Or maybe you don't have a soulmate, but you do have a soulmate in that way. The Sun card reverse, there's negativity. Obviously, you're in between a positivity and negativity. That's how it goes. And when you have the rebound of having white lies, whatever you're doing, Virgo, it's like things are not going as planned. It's like, oh, well, this is not going to end well. No, it's not. Because you have to believe that. So let me clarify the Sun card here. The Devil reverse, there's no obsessions or addictions. Devil reverse, there's no nourishment. Justice reverse, you're not telling the truth. That's how it goes, right? The Devil reverse, there's no decisions. The World is over, there's completion. Yes, everything is completed, but when you have two Justice cards, one's reversed, one reversed, they're both saying that you're making up lies because you're not telling the truth. You're not. And when things are being sideways or whatever you're seeing, whatever you're doing, that's how it goes in that way. It's like, oh, well, this is going to be very interesting indeed. That's how it goes. What's the middle of this situation? The King wants yours. Okay, so, there was something that was happening in this situation. It's like, why are you doing it, right? You're not trying to be having your own throne. You're not trying to do what you can, but that's how it goes. So let's see what's happening in this situation. So you're going to go from the middle to the right, middle to the left. So you have the Two of Swords. You don't know which direction you're going to take, left or right. So let's see what's going on for you, Virgo. Left side, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Over there's wealth. Right, so there's money. What's on the right side? The Eight Cups to the right. So you want to have entertainment. Alright, so you want to entertain. Entertaining is a wonderful feeling because that's how it goes. Or that's how it seems to be. So let me just figure out what's on the right side, please. The Five of Pentacles is upright. You want money. Queen of Pentacles here, there's no insecurity. The Seneca here, there's no delusion. Chariot is upright, there's progress. That's how it goes. When you have progress, you have to understand that because you're trying to work on progress. You have to know what it is. You know how it takes. You can be valuable. That's how it goes in that way. It's like, okay, this can be happening all at once. That's how it goes, right? That's the way it works. What's between the middle and the left side, please? The Ten Pentacles here, so you already have a career. The Empress here, there's no nourishment. Six of Cups here, there's no the past. Temperance is upright, there's healing. Because you are healing about what's going to be happening, you know? And you're saying, well, with me, I can't do this anymore, I quit. You know, that's how it goes. It's like, why you keep doing it? You know? Why you have all these, you know, the way how you're feeling in one way, right? This is not a whole entire symphony or whatever it is. It's not. Visibility, you have to have your own gain of friendship. You know, that's how it goes. You stick what you're doing in that way because you're sticking with it, right? That's how it goes. What's this Temperance card about? The Nine of Swords is upright, so you're feeling trauma. The Hermit is upright, there's solitude. Yeah, because you're looking for a soulmate, right? So you need to have the way of knowing what to do. And you have to process what you're doing in that way, right? So if you're processing on the right side, you're not processing on the left side, right? And you already know that you want money, you want entertainment, you want things to be happening, right? You think that it's all about you, and you know that's how it goes. But you understand that, right? You have to believe that. That's how it goes. What's this Chariot about? The King of Pentacles is upright, so you want security. 9 of Wands here, there's no fear. 6 of Swords here, there's no movement. Knight of Swords here, there's no drama. The 3 of Pentacles upright, there's excitement. Yeah, because you're talking about it. And when you're talking about it, you know how it goes in that way because you understand that. Now, what's the bottom of this situation? So we'll clarify the 2 of Cups reversed on the right side. So there's 2 of Cups reversed, means that you have no friendships or relationships. So let me see what's going on. So in this theory that's based on this, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on for you, Virgo. Let's see. One more. So to clarify on the right side of this 2 of Cups, what's happening? For Pentacles is upright, so you're looking for money, and 6 Pentacles upright, you want kindness. Yes, it is, but you know, things to be, you know, out of hand or whatever it is. It's like, oh, well, this seems to be very interesting. But the way how this is, you need to understand that, right? You're trying to transmit of how you're feeling in one way or another. You know, that's how it goes. So let's see what's happening. So we're going to go from the middle to the right, middle to left. The King Pentacles, the Knight Pentacles here is there's no trust, right? So you have no trust, right? You have no trust abilities whatsoever. You know, that's how it goes, Virgo. Between the middle and the right side, please. The 2 of Cups over there, there's relationships. But the 8 of Wands reversed, there's no speed. 5 of Wands reversed, there's no chaos. Magician is upright, there's skill. Obviously that is because you're looking for relationships in one way or another, right? That's how it goes. You're trying to appeal what you want, what you get, what you desire, because that's what it is, right? That's how it goes. And when you do it, it's like, alright, this thing's happening, alright, this is how intense, alright, this is the ability that I need to do, because that's how it goes. It's like things to be happening all at once, because that's the way it seems to be in that way. That's between the middle and the right and the left side, please. The Swords reversed, there's no anxiety. Page 1 reversed, there's no invention. Emperor's over, there's structure. 10 of Pentacles over, there's wealth. 21 is over, there's charisma. Yeah, exactly how it is, right? So when you're focusing on wealth, you're focusing about money in that situation. You care about, you know, who you're going to care about. That's the way it seems to be in that way. It's like, okay, this is how it goes. I need to understand. I need to make my own bold moves. You know, that's how it goes. What's this opposite with this charisma card? King Pentacles here, there's no security. 6 Pentacles upright, there's kindness. Temperance is upright, there's healing. You know, that's how it goes, right? So you want things to be happening because you're acting like everything's fine, but it's not. You know, that's how it goes. And you understand that, right? So you have to believe that. You have to have your own source of knowing what to do, right? That's the way it seems to be. And when you do that, that's how it goes in that way. What's the middle of this situation? 7 of Swords, yeah, because you're feeling deceit, you know? And that's how it goes, right? So you're trying to understand what you want, what you get, to understand, right? That's how it seems to be, right, in that way. So, before I let you all go, try to pay attention about this whole entire situation. No matter what's going to happen to you, Virgo, and when you do it, it's like, okay, everything's going to be fine, but this is very temperance, and you understand that, and you have to believe in order to do that, right? You have all these abilities to understand what you're going to be doing, because that's how it goes. You need to go and do it, that's the way it happens. But nowadays, you need to understand to improve yourself wisely, to get the better of you, that's how it goes, and you have to understand that, right? So you need to understand that if you're making white lies, if you're, being who you are, and you're being mean or being rude or whatever, or disrespectful, or you're acting like you're nice and, calm and everything else, and you want, being who you are, but the way all this is, you need to act like it. You need to act like, oh, it's not my fault, or it's somebody else's, whatever it is. You need to believe. You need to understand about, there's a good saying, is seeing is believing, believing is seeing, but that's all you can do. But you understand what it is, right? That's the way it seems to be. So I hope you all like this video. Please give a like, please leave a comment if you want, and I'll see you next time. And this is the way it seems to be. This is the way how it goes. So I hope you all like this video. Thank you. Bye for now, everybody, and bye.